Hello students. So in this video we are going to solve some numericals. So as we know that in physics problems are the big problems. So in this session we are going to solve some problems. So before going to the problems, let us know the formula list which comes under this chapter. The first formula, that is Q is equal to N into E. So this is the formula which gives the quantization of charge. Here Q indicates the charge on a body, N indicates the number of charged particles, and E indicates the charge of an electron. So the second equation, that is F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So this is the formula which is given by Coulomb's law to determine the force between the charges. And E is the electric field intensity, F by Q naught, that is the general formula. Electric field intensity at any point in an electric field is the force experienced by a unit positive charge placed at that point. For a point charge, electric field intensity at a point is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square, where R is the distance, Q be the point charge. And this is the equation which gives the electric field intensity at a point due to dipole on its axial line. So that is given by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p by R square minus A square the whole square. Here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is a electric field constant, P indicates the electric dipole moment, and then R indicates the distance of the point P from the center of the dipole, and 2a indicates the dipole length. So if R is very greater than A, then the equation can be approximated as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p by R cube. This is the expression for the electric field intensity at a point due to dipole on the equatorial line, that is given by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught p by R square plus A square to the power of 3 by 2. As I told you, if R is very greater than A, then A square can be neglected, then the expression becomes 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught p by R cube. So there is a general expression to determine the electric field intensity at a point due to dipole, that is given by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught p by R cube into square root of 3 cos square theta plus 1, where here theta indicates the angle between the direction of the line joining and the direction of the dipole moment. And this indicates the electric dipole moment, that is given by P is equal to 2a into Q. So 2a indicates the dipole length and Q indicates the magnitude of the either of the charge. So dipole moment is the product of magnitude of either of the charge and dipole length. And this is the expression for the electric flux at a point, that is given by phi is equal to E into ds cos theta, where phi is the total flux, E indicates the electric field, ds indicates the surface area, and theta is the angle between E and normal vector. By the Gauss theorem we know that phi is equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught into Q. So this is the expression for the Gauss theorem. And this is the torque acting on a dipole, that is given by tau is equal to Pe sin theta, where tau is the torque acting on a dipole and P indicates the dipole moment, E indicates the electric field intensity at a point, and then theta is the angle between P and E. Then we have defined the continuous charge distribution. In that we have know that linear charge density, surface charge density, and volume charge density. So linear charge density is given by Q by L, that is charge per unit length. Surface charge density is given by Q by A, charge per unit area. Volume charge density is given by Q by V, that is charge per unit volume. And this is the expression for electric field intensity at a point due to an infinitely long straight charged conductor, that is given by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 lambda divided by R, where lambda indicates the linear charge density. And this is the expression for the electric field intensity at a point due to an infinitely thin plane sheet that is given by E is equal to sigma divided by 2 into epsilon naught, where sigma indicates the surface charge density. And this is the expression for electric field intensity at a point due to a charged spherical conductor, that is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. If we rearrange this one, we'll get sigma divided by epsilon naught. So most common used constants are in this chapter are epsilon naught and then E. So epsilon naught indicates the permittivity of free space, that is equal to 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12 farad per meter. And then E is the charge of an electron, that is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, E is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. So let us take the first numerical. We shall start with the first numerical. See, every problem while solving, first we have to know the data what they have given in this numericals. See, first we have to understand the question what they have given. See, observe this question. 2 point charges when separated by 0.6 meter. So the data they have given is 0.6 meter. Here the distance between the charges is 0.6 meter. In air, repel each other. So repel each other means they must possess the same kind of charges. Either they may have positive positive or they may have negative negative. They must have the like charges. Repel each other by a force of 20 Newton. So 20 Newton they have given. The force between the charges is equal to 20 Newton. And then if the sum of the two charges is 60 microcoulomb. See, if we add the two charges, I'll take it like this. Let it be this is Q1 plus Q2 is equal to 60 microcoulomb. They have given. The sum of the two charges is 60 microcoulomb. Calculate the individual charges. That is, we have to calculate Q1 and Q2. So we have to analyze how to solve this problem. So they have given distance between the charges, force between the charges, sum of the charges, and we have to calculate the value of individual charges. So as we know that from the Coulomb's law, F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by r square. We know the formula for Coulomb's law, that is F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square. See, first identify the value of product of charges, that is Q1 and Q2. So I'll rearrange that expression. This implies Q1 and Q2 is equal to F r square divided by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I rearranged this expression like Q1 Q2 is equal to F r square divided by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Substitute the values of those values, that is F is equal to 20 Newton, R is 0.6 whole square divided by, this is 9 into 10 power 9. Then that is equal to 20 into 0.36 divided by 9 into 10 power 9. See, as we know that 9 ones are, this becomes 0.04. So if we multiply this one, that becomes 0.04 into 20. That becomes 0.8 into 10 power minus 9. 0.8 into 10 power minus 9. I'll write this one as 800 into 10 power minus 12. This is Q1 and Q2 units. Now we got the product of two terms. We know the sum of two terms. Then we can rearrange and solve the value of difference of two terms. So we know that is Q1 minus Q2 the whole square is equal to Q1 plus Q2 whole square minus 4 Q1 Q2. So this is a standard formula that is a minus b the whole square is equal to a plus b the whole square minus 4ab. If I substitute the values of q1 plus q2 and q1 q2, we can get the value of q1 minus q2. This becomes, we know that q1 plus q2 is 60 into 10 power minus 6 whole square minus 4 into the product of the value q1 and q2 is, we know that 800 into 10 power minus 12. If I solve this one, this becomes 3600 into 10 power minus 12 minus, this is 3200 into 10 power minus 12. Then this is equal to 400 into 10 power minus 12. This is q1 minus q2 the whole square. If I take the square root of this, that becomes q1 minus q2 is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 6. So this is the difference of two terms. So we know the sum of two terms, difference of two terms. So we know that q1 plus q2 is equal to 60 into 10 power minus 6. q1 minus q2 is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 6. If I add these two, then this becomes cancelled. This becomes 2 q1 is equal to 80 into 10 power minus 6. So 2 ones are 2 40s are, this implies q1 is equal to 40 into 10 power minus 6 coulomb. So we got the value of q1. Now we have to find out the value of q2. See, consider any one of these equations. That is, we know that q1 plus q2 is equal to 60 into 10 power minus 6. This can be written as q2 is equal to 60 into 10 power minus 6 minus q1. Substitute the value of q1, 60 10 power minus 6 minus, this is 40 10 power minus 6, that is equal to 20 into 10 power minus 6 coulomb. So this is the value of q2. So like this we can solve any numericals. Second numerical, that is two positive charges of 0.2 microcoulomb and 0.8 microcoulomb. So they have given 2 point charges. So I'll write the data. q1 is equal to 0.2 microcoulomb and q2 is 0.8 microcoulomb, are placed at a distance of 0.15 meter apart. So they have given the distance 0.15 meter. So I'll take it that as r is equal to 0.15 meter. At what point on the line joining them is the electric field? 0. So we have to calculate the point where the electric field is 0 in between the charges. So to understand that one, let us draw a simple diagram. So let us take a point charge and another point charge. So I'll take it this as q1 and this as q2. I'll take it that as point A and then point B. Let us imagine this is the point C where we have to find out the electric field that must be equal to 0. We don't know whether it is where it is. So let us imagine x be the distance of the point from the charge q1 where the electric field is 0. As we know that 0.15 meter be the distance between the two charges they have given. Then the remaining distance will be equal to 0.15 minus x. So this is the distance between the point and the other charge. So here these two are positive charges. Therefore the electric field from this charge, I'll take it that as E1 in this direction. The electric field at this point due to this charge in this direction because it is positive charge. So E1 and E2 are acting at a point and they are in the opposite direction. The net electric field must be equal to 0 here only if, that means electric field is equal to 0 only if E1 must be equal to E2. So if the value of E1 and E2 are equal, then the electric field at this point must be equal to 0. So we know the expression for electric field, that is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 divided by distance squares from this charge to the point, that is x square. That is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught this charge Q2 divided by distance, that is 0.15 minus x the whole square. We know that this one and this one get cancelled. The value of Q1 is they have given as 0.2 into 10 power minus 6 divided by x square, that is equal to 0.8 10 power minus 6 divided by 0.15 minus x the whole square. So 10 power minus 6 get cancelled, 2 1s are 2 4s are. If we cross multiply that one, 0.15 minus x the whole square is equal to 4x square. Take square root on both sides. Square root on both sides, if I take here, then that becomes 0.15 minus x is equal to, this is square root of 4 is 2x. If I take this minus x to that side, that becomes 3x is equal to 0.15. This implies x is equal to 0.05 meter. X is equal to 0.05 meter from Q1. So this is the solution of the value of x from the charge Q1. Students, if the same problem is, if they ask in the CET exam, we can also find the null point using a shortcut method. What is that shortcut method? So we can find out the value of x by another method, that is given by x is equal to r divided by square root of Q2 by Q1 plus 1. What is this formula? If I rearrange this expression, we will get this formula. X indicates the distance of the point from the charge, r indicates the distance between the two charges, Q2 and Q1 are the point charges. So we have to take in such a way that Q2 must be greater than Q1 or Q1 must be less than Q2 plus 1. So this is a shortcut method to find the null point in between the 2 point charges. So if I substitute here, r is 0.15 divided by square root of Q2 is 0.8 10 power minus 6 divided by Q1 is 0.2 10 power minus 6 plus 1. So 10 power minus 6 get cancelled. 0.2 0.84 times, that becomes 0.15 divided by square root of 4 is 2 plus 1, that is equal to 0.15 divided by 3. That can be written as 0.05 meter as the value of x. So this is the shortcut method to find the null point between the two charges. Next problem is a charged cork ball of mass 1 gram. So in this problem they have given a mass of the ball, that is m is equal to 1 gram, that is 1 into 10 power minus 3 kilogram. He is suspended on a light string in a horizontal uniform electric field of 5 into 10 power 5 Newton per Coulomb. That means they have given the electric field, that is E is equal to 5 into 10 power 5 Newton per Coulomb be the electric field. The ball is in equilibrium at an angle of 30 degree with the vertical. So they have given the value of theta, that is equal to 30 degree with the vertical. Find the charge on the ball and tension in the string. That means we have to calculate the value of charge and the tension in the string. To analyze this problem, let us consider a fixed point. From that we have suspended a ball. If I apply the electric field, the ball will be at this position. So assume that this ball is in equilibrium, which makes an angle theta with the direction of the vertical. So as we know that the electric field will be along this direction, therefore F must be equal to E into Q. The weight of the body will be in the downward direction. I will take it as W is equal to mg. And the tension will be along the wire, along the string, that is T. If I resolve this vector into two components, one will be along the horizontal and the one will be along the vertical. We know that if it is theta, this must be is also equal to theta. The two components are the rectangular components. One should be a cos function and the other should be a sine function. The vector which is attached to the angle will be always a cos function, that becomes t cos theta, and the vector which is opposite to the angle will be always a sine function, therefore t sine theta. So this is the diagram we have to write according to this problem. This ball is in equilibrium. If it is in equilibrium, the two forces must be equal and opposite. That means these two must be equal and opposite, and these two must be equal and opposite. Therefore, from that diagram we can write like this: t sine theta must be equal to F, that is nothing but EQ, and then t cos theta must be equal to W, weight of the ball, that must be equal to mg. So I will take this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. Just take the ratio of those two, that is equation 1 divided by equation 2, that implies t sin theta divided by t cos theta must be equal to EQ divided by mg. So t and then t get cancelled. We know that sin theta by cos theta is tan theta, therefore tan theta is equal to EQ divided by mg. See, in this problem we are going to find out the value of the Q. If I rearrange this expression, this becomes Q is equal to mg tan theta divided by E. So if I substitute the value of all these constants what they are given in the problem, that is mass of the ball, g we know that, theta we know that, and electric field is also know that. If I substitute and calculate this value of Q, we will get Q is equal to mass what they have given, 1 gram, 1 into 10 power minus 3 into g is 9.8 into tan theta, that is tan of 30 divided by electric field E, that is 5 into 10 power 5. Then this is equal to 9.8 10 power minus 3 into the value of tan 30. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 if I calculate, then that becomes 0.5774 divided by 5 into 10 power 5. If I multiply 9.8 into 0.5774, we'll get that is equal to 5.6585 into 10 power, this becomes minus 8 divided by 5. So 10 to the power of minus 5 plus 5, which we take to numerator, that becomes minus 5. 10 power minus 3, 10 power minus 5 is 10 power minus 8. So if I calculate using the calculator, then that becomes 1.1312 into 10 to the power of minus 8 coulomb. So this is the value of charge. Or we can also write like this: 11.312 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb, or 11.312 nano coulomb. So that is the value of charge. Now we have to find out the value of tension in the string. So we know that from equation 1, that is t sin theta is equal to EQ. This is the value of first equation. Find out the value of t. T is equal to EQ divided by sin theta. So we know the value of E, that is 5 into 10 power 5 into Q, that is 11.312 into 10 to the power of minus 9 divided by sin 30, that is sin 30. This becomes 5 into 11.312 into 10 to the power of minus 4. 10 power 5, 10 power minus 9, that becomes 10 power minus 4 divided by 0.5. So 1s are, 10s are, if I take that one, that becomes 11.312 into 10 power minus 4, that is 10 power minus 3 Newton. So this is the tension in the string. So by this way we can solve the problem. Next problem. Two identical pith balls, each weighing 30 milligram. So they have given the mass of the pith balls, that is m is equal to 30 milligram. So if you convert milligram into kilogram, that becomes 30 into 10 power minus 6 kilogram, are hung from the same point of a rigid support by two inextensible threads, each of 0.1 meter. That means they have given length is equal to 0.1 meter. So this is the data. When equal amount of identical charges are given to the pith balls, they get separated by 0.1 meter. So I'll take it that as R, that is equal to 0.1 meter. So this is also the data they have given. Calculate the charge on each of them, and they have given G is equal to 10 to the power of 10 meter per second square. So that is the data they have given, that is G is equal to 10 meter per second square. So it is similar to the previous problem also, but here they have given two balls. So to determine that one, let us draw the diagram. Imagine this is a rigid support and they have given two pith balls. So this is one pith ball, this is another pith ball. See, this is, imagine a semi-vertical angle theta. So let us consider tension in the string will be T. As we know that they have given this is 0.1 meter, this is also 0.1 meter. The force will be along this direction, I'll take it as F, and weight of the ball will be in the downward direction, that is W is equal to mg. As we know that this tension will be resolved into two components, one is along the vertical and the other one is along the horizontal. So this must be equal to theta, is it since it is a alternate angles. So if I resolve this vector into two components, so one should be T cos theta and other should be T sin theta. Since these two charges are in equilibrium, then the force between these two must be a repulsive. Why it is repulsive force? As we know that they have given identical charges. We know that similar charges repel each other, dissimilar charges attract each other. Since they have given identical charges, they repel each other with each other. Then from that diagram we can write T sin theta, horizontal component, must be equal to F, and T cos theta must be equal to the vertical component, that is nothing but W, that must be equal to mg. I'll take it this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. If I take the ratio of these two, that is equation number 1 by equation 2, that implies T sin theta divided by T cos theta must be equal to F divided by mg. So T and then T get cancelled. Sin theta by cos theta becomes tan theta, therefore tan theta is equal to F divided by mg. I'll rearrange this expression, that can be written as F is equal to mg tan theta. So we know the concept of F, that is nothing but a Coulomb's force, that is given by the formula. So we have given F is equal to mg tan theta. See, F indicates the Coulomb's force, that is given by the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Since they have given identical charge, So Q1 must be equal to Q2. I'll take that as Q. So Q into Q is Q square, that is equal to mg tan theta. So in this problem, we have to find out the value of charge. So I'll rearrange that expression. This can be written as Q square is equal to mg tan theta. If I cross multiply this one, that becomes r square whole divided by this whole term. I'll take it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Substitute the values, that is m, what they are given, 30 milligram, that is 30 into 10 power minus 6 into g they have given as 10 into tan. See, observe this one, this diagram. Since it is an equilateral triangle, the semi-vertical angle must be equal to 30 degree. Therefore, tan 30 into r square. So r is the distance between the charges, that is 0.1 whole square whole divided by 9 into 10 power 9. Then solve this one. 30 into 10 power minus 6 into 10 is 10 power minus 5 into tan 30 is 0.5774, that is 1 by root 3 into 0.1 whole square, that becomes 0.01. I'll take it that as 10 power minus 2 whole divided by 9 into 10 power 9. If you multiply 30 into 0.5774, that becomes 17.322, 10 power minus 5, 10 power minus 2, that is 10 power minus 7. If you take this 10 power minus 9 to numerator, that becomes 10 power minus 16 divided by 9. If I take the value, if I calculate this one, that becomes 1.9247 into 10 power minus 16. This is Q square. If you take the square root, that becomes Q is equal to square root of 1.9247 10 power minus 16. If I take the square root of this, we'll get 1.387 into 10 power minus 8 coulomb. So this is the value. Or we can take this as plus or minus. Why it is plus or minus? It may be a positive charge or it may be a negative charge. Therefore, if you take the square root of that, we'll get plus or minus 1.387 10 power minus 8 coulomb.